Today we got one of the greatest Sith Lords of all time, taking on one of the greatest Jedi of all time. Darth Vader versus Mace Windu. Who comes out on top? Let's find out. Anakin Skywalker was once a heroic Jedi Knight, but was seduced by the powers of the dark side and became the Dark Lord known as Darth Vader in attempt to save the life of his wife and unborn children. However, in spite of everything he has done, there were still remnants of good in him. Even after his transformation into Darth Vader, Anakin was still a skilled fighter, and actually used a lot of the same fighting styles. These consisted of Form 5, which was able to deflect blaster fire with ease, even block shots from freighters, and Form 4, which is best used in open spaces, used to block incoming projectiles. And in fact, some people were able to figure out that Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker simply by observing his fighting style. However, the new suit significantly limited his speed and agility, but he was much stronger, more pain-resistant as a result. This didn't stop him though, and Vader consistently fought and killed dozens of Jedi, including Jedi Masters. Vader's also very skilled at throwing his lightsaber. He's actually able to down ships with a lightsaber throw. After transformation into a cyborg, even though his injuries had physically crippled him, Vader believed that the suffering that he'd experienced had both perfected his soul and freed him from the needs of the flesh, allowing him to concentrate solely on his connection with the Force. Because of this, his connection to the Force didn't suffer, and in fact you could argue that it increased. He's able to stop an AT-AT from stepping on him, bring down spaceships, and he could even move objects without having to gesture to them, allowing him to throw objects with the Force while engaged in lightsaber combat. He's also infamous for the Force choke, and will crush or snap the neck of any adversary. So, that's we got one corner, the Sith Lord of all Sith Lords, Darth Vader. But, entering the ring, in the corner, was Jedi Master Mace Windu. Jedi Master Mace Windu was a well-known Jedi Knight of the Republic. He was a member of the Jedi High Council, and he was a Master of the Order. He was the second most powerful Jedi and duelist in the Council during the Clone Wars, second only to Yoda. He used a purple lightsaber, which means he used both the light side and the dark side of the Force, while still remaining on the light side. Mace Windu was a highly accomplished and powerful Jedi Master, who was formidable in both lightsaber combat and Force abilities. Windu was a practitioner of Form 7, which is considered the most aggressive and unpredictable form. It was full of fury and had a heavy focus on offense, being designed to eviscerate an enemy in one-on-one lightsaber combat. However, this form of fighting also led the user dangerously close to the dark side due to its focus on physical combat, and required the wielder to enjoy the fight and relish in the satisfaction of winning. Mace Windu was an excellent fighter, being able to even battle against, momentarily defeat Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith. He's also highly adept at deflecting incoming blaster shots. He used a more defensive stance to counter these blasts. As a Force user, Mace Windu was especially proficient at telekinesis, and would use it both for offensive and defensive purposes. He's also seen pulling opponents in his direction, rendering them vulnerable to a fatal lightsaber strike. He also used connection to the Force to augment his physical abilities, or land incredible jumps, or perform acrobatic maneuvers. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, Darth Vader is one of the most iconic and feared Jedi hunters and killers in the galaxy, arguably the greatest Jedi killer of all time. And so today, we're throwing him up against one of the greatest Jedis of all time, Mace Windu. Plus, Anakin was the one who actually led to Mace's death with a sneak attack. So let's see how it plays out a fair fight. So who's coming out on top here? Well, that's what we're going to find out. And like always, physicality. Which one's stronger and tougher? Also, just a note, we're going to be including everything Star Wars in this video. So both Disney and Legends. So who's stronger? Well, Darth Vader has routinely and casually pick grown men up with just one hand and choke them to death. He's crushed blasters, lightsaber blades, and holocrons in the palm of his hand. broke free of his metal restraints literally right after being given his new robotic body, and is able to use his lightsaber to hack all the way through the leg of an AT-AT. In his cybernetic body, Darth Vader is very strong, and he's stronger than a normal human like Mace Windu. However, when it does come to normal humans, Mace is a whole lot stronger than you might suspect. He's able to use force strength to literally fist fight against droids, clearly denting steel or even just smashing them apart. He's actually done it on multiple occasions. It's almost like Mace forgot that he's got a lightsaber that he can use. He's also fought two Gundarks while unarmed, and Gundarks are known for being exceptionally strong and exceptionally dangerous. In fact, even though they're considerably smaller than the average Rancor, most people consider Gundarks to be just as dangerous. So that should give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. And Mace fought against two with his bare hands. So then what about durability? Well, this is where Vader's cybernetic body can really come in handy. He's been smacked around by a large super cyborg Rancor, proving great blunt force durability. He's been unaffected by small explosions, been caught in large explosions, not been affected by close-range explosions even with his helmet off, even survived explosions and blasts from an AT-AT. He's taken Force Lightning from the Emperor, which had previously severely injured Darth Maul. But most important for this fight, Darth Vader has routinely been able to take lightsaber attacks and keep on fighting. He's taken glancing blows from a lightsaber in his fight with Luke, taken a lightsaber to the head from Ahsoka, took a lightsaber to the back from Commander Carbon, even stabbed himself straight through with a lightsaber in order to kill a resurrected clone of Darth Maul. But, just like with strength, Mace is actually deceptively durable, and a whole lot tougher than he might appear. I mean, just for starters, he's literally been impaled before, just had a blade rip right through his guts and right out his back. If that doesn't kill you, there's not a lot that will. He's been run over by charging beasts or hit with large balls of scrap metal, is unfazed from long falls and crash landings, and even been hit with missiles before. Mace is literally just so tough that a man actually just shattered his own knuckles by trying to punch him in the face. And that Gundark we were talking about from earlier, one of them tried to rip Windu apart, yet couldn't because it wasn't strong enough. So then, finally, we need to talk about speed. And if Darth Vader is stronger and tougher, well, this is Mace Windu's time to shine, because he's definitely faster and more agile. He moves faster than thought. His fighting speed is literally invisible. He's able to casually dodge and deflect blaster fire, literally just running straight towards blaster fire, simply dodging out of the way or not to get hit. Routinely moves faster than the eye can follow, simply leaving behind a trail of purple light whenever he swings his lightsaber. Even in his fight with Darth Sidious, it was said that they were both moving so fast that Anakin Skywalker couldn't truly see them, could only make out the red and purple blurs of the lightsabers as they dueled. And this is particularly notable, because Anakin was undeniably faster as a human than he was as a cyborg, and if he couldn't keep up with Mace or even keep track of him as a human, good luck trying to keep up with him as a cyborg. However, it's not like Darth Vader would just be standing there looking like a statue, because just like Windu is surprisingly strong and tough, Vader is surprisingly fast and agile. He's been able to routinely move his lightsaber so quickly, lace behind blurs of light and after images. He'll blitz opponents like it was nothing, and deflect barrages of laser blasts like it was nothing too. But this fight isn't going to be dictated just solely upon physicality. Yeah, granted, it will be a key part of the fight, which is why we talked about it. But so much more of this fight is dependent upon their skillful lightsaber and their power in the Force. So how does that shake out? Well, starting out, Darth Vader is a whole lot more inclined to just spam his Force powers throughout the fight, probably because he isn't as agile or maneuverable in a duel as his younger counterpart. He's able to easily toss opponents aside or disarm them, redirect gunfire, or even manipulate an opponent into firing against whoever, whenever he wants. Vader casually threw objects at Luke during their fight, without even looking or gesturing to them. He's able to unleash telekinetic waves, launch you backward, leave it powerful enough to destroy AT-AT walkers with the Force, or bring down ships and prevent them from flying. Vader is also very skilled at throwing and controlling his blade while in the air, throwing his blade to take down a Y-Wing, hurling his lightsaber during his battle with Luke, and even throwing his lightsaber into the mouth of the Lilac Queen, controlling it while it was inside of her, and ripping her organs and innards apart. Vader also loves a good Force choke, choking countless foes throughout the years. Really, Darth Vader is incredibly versatile with the Force, being able to create Force barriers, and even absorb a Force push, absorb and deflect blaster bolts with his hands. He can use the Force to increase the intensity of his lightsaber, but actually consistently be able to prove that the Force can overcome machines and technology. But while Mace Windu definitely isn't lacking when it comes to the Force either. He's used a Force push to knock over literally hundreds of droids, and send them flying in all directions, knock over one absolutely massive droid, as well as use the Force to heavily damage General Grievous' body, which is made out of a duranium alloy, one of the toughest metals in the Star Wars universe. However, probably his greatest Force ability, and a key to this fight, is the ability known as Shatterpoint. Shatterpoints are basically equivalent to fault lines in all things, and a skilled Force user can perceive an item through the Force, note where it comes together, and identify any weak spots. By allowing the Force to surge through them and direct it towards the weak point, Mace Windu could effectively shatter the object. And because it was a supernatural ability performed through the Force, doesn't matter how physically durable the object was, it could be physically destroyed. Really don't think Darth Vader is going to have much luck against Shatterpoint here in this fight, seeing as how Mace can so easily destroy his cybernetic limbs and body parts with a simple touch, or just a mere gesture in his general direction. Then, finally, let's talk about fighting skill with a lightsaber blade. While Grand Moff Tarkin said that he's never seen someone use a lightsaber as rapid or as lethal as Vader, he's able to block blaster fire from an entire squadron of rebels at point-blank range, easily block against multiple droids firing at multiple different angles, and is able to take down entire groups of rebels by himself. He's even knowledgeable of all 7 forms of lightsaber fighting, whereas most Jedi and Sith are just knowledgeable or masters of 1 or 2. However, here's the thing. While Vader is knowledgeable in all 7 forms, he's no longer a master in any one particular form. After receiving his cybernetic enhancements and armor, he had to retool his fighting style, becoming much more direct than he was previously, and forming more of a hybrid fighting style in order to fit his new body. On the other hand, with Mace Windu, he's a practitioner of Form 7, which is considered the most unpredictable and aggressive fighting form, and is notably the only master of the style that never succumbed and fell to the dark side. He was able to easily kill Jango Fett, known Jedi fighter and killer, someone who Obi-Wan Kenobi greatly struggled against. He's able to battle against both General Grievous and Count Dooku, as well as fight with the powerful Force user Mother Talzin. However, the fight that I really want to focus in on is the fight with Palpatine. Sidious easily killed 3 Jedi Masters, Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, and Sassy Tin, but yet Mace Windu is able to directly fight against him one-on-one, and actually had him dead to rights until Anakin stepped in. Basically, Mace Windu is one of the greatest Jedi duelists of all time, even arguably rivaling Yoda for that top spot. Was a better fighter, even the likes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and yes, Anakin Skywalker. So, end of the day, who's coming out on top here? Well, let's turn to George Lucas, the end-all, be-all of the Star Wars universe, and see what he had to say about it. Anakin, as Skywalker, as a human being, was going to be extremely powerful, but he ended up losing his legs and an arm, became partly a robot. So a lot of his ability to use the Force, a lot of his powers are curbed at this point, because as a living form, there's not much of him left. So his ability to be twice as good as the Emperor disappeared. Now maybe 20% less than him. So that isn't what the Emperor had in mind. He wanted this really super guy, but that got derailed by Obi-Wan. Darth Vader is now a shell of his former self, and his injuries clearly impact him and limit him. Like there's a quote in Star Wars talking about this that goes, "You are so far less now than what you were. You are more than half machine. You are like a painter gone blind, a composer gone deaf. You remember where the power was, but the power you can touch is only a memory." So two things. Darth Vader is weaker than Anakin Skywalker. Mace Windu is stronger than Anakin Skywalker. Darth Vader also never showed the power or ability to usurp the Emperor, despite the fact that he wanted to, while Mace Windu is able to fight Palpatine, the one-on-one fight, and win. So with those two things, just of his greater lightsaber ability and Shatterpoint, gotta give this one to Mace Windu. Mace Windu wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to like button, subscribe button, turn on notifications, join the Fanco army, and I will see y'all next time.